Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the FTOG server playing Feed the Beast Stoneblock 3, and I made a change. You see it? You see it? You see it? You don't see it, because I changed my microphone. So the audio is completely different, and I like the change. I moved it because it was further away. It's literally about 2 fingers away from my chin, which is much closer. Before it was about arm's length away, and it was a great spot. I like the resonance for it, but I've been running a filter, which has been very helpful, but the further away the microphone is and the quieter the sound is, the more it gets stripped out. And I noticed some of my utterances were losing bits, and I didn't like that. So I figured, well, what if I bring it closer? And also because I brought it closer, I realized that my gain was a little bit too high after the move, or way possibly before that. And so it was, I was overblasting the sound, and so it was losing some of the high and the low ends, which was not so good. Anyway, blah 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 blah. Mic better, done. So it's been a while in real time since the last video, because I wanted to do a bunch of building and stuff that I knew would take a big chunk of time. So one of the things that I did is I ran my mob farm a whole bunch because I was looking for these legendary boxes and the elites, and I opened up a bunch of these other ones too, and I got lots and lots of different loot and threw a lot of it away. But I did find something. I found the repair talisman, and I was so happy to get that because now everything's repaired, because I just really like having my stuff not break on me, and I've had that happen, which has not been fun. So this is now the Mark II, everything's Mark III. It's been working really well. One of the loot I got was this dark power flower, and it's only making 21 EMC per second, but you can see in the top right left corner, I've got 37 million EMC because it's been running for a while, and this is a loaded chunk, so it's always working. Anyway, I've got 2 sets of my netherite chickens here, and they are piping into a compacting drawer, which is piping into here the netherite blocks, because it processes an item really fast, and this way it doesn't back up. And I got rid of the cobble gen, because when I'm producing each block almost 500,000 EMC, I don't care about the little bit that I'm getting from the cobble gen. And so, yeah, they're not caring about that. Anyway, I've been playing with that, and oh, what happened to my power? I had my power right. Well, I know what happened to my power. I moved it. So let me take it. Let's go upstairs to the power room. No. There we go. If I double click too fast, I fly. So I've got 4 of these nitro level thermo generators. And it's been working really well because each of them, when they're running, are producing 5.6K a tick, which is math. It's like 22,000. That's a lot. I can get rid of these the thermoelectrics from immersive engineering because they hardly do anything at this point. But you know, inertia. Anyway, so I've been playing with that, and you may be asking, Grok, why are you doing that much power? Why do you care when your power is just sitting here doing nothing? Well, one of the things I have done is I filled up 9 of these 2 billion FE battery packs. But I've also been running a builder, and let's go back. Yeah, I ran a builder over here to clear out some space. Quiet you. And oh hey, I can see the sun. This is very nice. What I have here, if I hit the map, I have let's zoom out just a little bit. This is a 23 by 23 chunk area that I have used my builder from bedrock at the top to bedrock at the bottom. I blew away. And if I'm -50 or lower, I start to see the sun, which makes me feel really nice. And if I'm 10 blocks or chunks away from the walls, then I don't see the walls. And so it looks like I'm just out floating in the void, which I like. I like that very nice. If I go 1 block closer, now I start seeing the walls. Now I don't. So that's what I've been doing. And I was chatting with my friend Meckley and showed him what I was doing. And he was talking about how he was setting up some water in his area. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. I really like the idea of water at the bottom instead of looking at the bedrock. So I did that. Here, after we drop down here and splash. I've got a bunch of water layers down here, which I put in by hand. Let's see, gravel, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more. So that's 6 layers of water. And literally, what I did is I went out and I did bucket, 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 every other block, and then down the side, and it filled in the layer. And then I did it for the second and the third and the fourth, the fifth, and sixth layers. So yes, I watched a bunch of other videos at the same time. This is the conduit setup so that I can, when I'm underwater, I get the conduit power buff, which means I can breathe and I can also see more. And what happened over here? What happened to my 4 pieces of gravel? Okay, I'll have to fix that. I ran the builder again, and I actually put down a layer of gravel, so it looks nicer than the bedrock underneath. So I can pretend it's like a seabed. And I would like to get some coral and, you know, put a little bit of coral around, not a whole lot because holy cow, this is a huge amount of space. I do have, that's a dread lamp there, and 8 blocks away, there's another dread lamp 8 blocks away. So I've got this 9 or 3 by 3 of dread lamps scattered around, and I haven't noticed any squid after that. And oh yeah, I built a floating island because of course I did. I love floating islands, they're great. And I've got a nice 3 by 3 chunk area here in the center, which is going to be my new base. And what I'm going to build here, I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. What I did do is once I laid out a border here, I said, okay, let me set up a tower because I like towers in the edges. And I'm going with my dark oak and deep slate because I like that combo. Not really majorly in love with this tower. I like the height of it. Eh, not it just isn't grooving me. So I decided to try a second version over here, and this one's better. I do like this better. It's way more boxier, but one of the things that I had fun with this is I'm using walls, and I like using walls. It gives some depth to this instead of using all blocks. And I also have walls made out of walls. And so I'm going with this too. This one has a ledge on the inside, but I think I'd rather have it on the outside. If this were out in an overworld, I would set it up this way, definitely, because then spiders couldn't climb up. But yeah, I've got my mega torch. There's no spiders going to happen here. So I think what I need to do is just replicate this wall structure all the way around and then figure out what am I going to build in the center. Well, it's a little bit later, and I have walls in place everywhere. I have my little towers in all 4 corners, and I also have done a little bit of decoration work along the outside. Not that I'm really going to be out here looking at this very much, but I wanted to have trees and whatnot to sprinkle around out here. And I went with my let's not show any lights. So I've got my glimmering flowers from Botania that work really well as non-visible lights. And yeah, as much as I love these little mana flares and they're great, they do have this little bit of smokiness going on. So you know, I will get rid of a lot of these too. Also, they look up if I look at the map, they show up as black because that's the black dye on them. So I'm thinking of building something in this corner, probably the storage room, I'm guessing, for all my items. And I'm thinking, you know, dark oak, because I love dark oak. And I'm going to go with stone brick just as a contrast to all this, you know, the deep slate out there, which is super dark. So that's what I'm going with. Let's break these guys down. And here's what I'm thinking. Let's get some space from the side. So if that's 1, 2, 3, then yeah, that gives me 3, a quarter of 3 to walk around. And I like using dark oak as my corner pieces. And so rather than just having an actual end, you know, a 90-degree angle here, I'll use 2 little dark oaks. All right, so walls 2, 3, 4, 5. I like odds. So put a little bit of oak there, and let's do another 5. Another dark oak. Let's take a look at the, nope, that's the Control H. I want Control G. There we go. So That extends a little bit beyond the chunk boundary, which is okay. I can live with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and dark oak, and then 5, and then dark oak. Yep, that's fine because the main chunk of all the storage stuff is going to be in here. So yeah, this works. If we're going to turn the corner again, not a 90-degree angle, I'll just have a little bend here. 4, 5. Let's do a little dark oak. Let's repeat this over here. And this way you can get kind of an insight into how my brain works. In fact, you know, here's kind of an actual insight of my brain and how it works. Which is kind of scary, but that's kind of how it does. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm pretty tight with this. Yeah, I can. Didn't see that one. I don't want just a big rectangle. That's why I'm pinching in here. Get rid of the chunks. I don't need that anymore. Let's make this the entranceway here. Now let's put the dark oak to kind of cap off the end. And yeah, I can easily walk through this little spot to get it. So that works for me. That's a good beginning. I kind of like the idea for like a little bit more structure to have a little extra dark oak there in the back. And you know, that still gives me 2 to go through, and that could be fences and whatnot, just to kind of help hold up the wall. You know, let's just kind of echo this around. Why not? Let's see how this looks. Here in the way. And down here. All right, let's take a look at that. Okay, I'm liking this better. Flat walls are boring. So even though this right here is a very flat wall, because it's using different textures and because it's got the full blocks and the walls, there's some depth in there. So it's not nearly as boring as it could be. So this is a good beginning. Height, I'm thinking 5 full blocks inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be the floor for the next level. So yeah, if we do something like that, that gives us a definite good size to this first floor. And then if we do another floor, let's do like 3 on the inside, and then the actual floor piece. And then if we have a third floor on top of that, you know, it would just be 2 high. And this gives you kind of a forced perspective. The building gets smaller as it goes up, but your brain kind of says, well, each of these floors are probably the same. It's a trick they do in Disneyland. So, you know, forced perspective. If I'm going to a third floor, that's what I'm going to do. I have no idea. I'm not really sure what this is going to look like. So, yeah, I think at this point I need to fiddle with the floors and see what I do with this. And stuff is done. Let's take a quick look. This is what I ended up with. There's the main floor, there's a second floor with nothing in it, a third floor with nothing in it, and then just a pointy tall bit just for fun, because I started having more and more fun building stuff. So, you know, okay, hands up, everybody who's heard me talk about same but different, because that's my construction style here. I went with wood and stone. That's my standard go-to construction setup, but I decided to go with the dark oak and spruce because they mix together very nicely. And then because we already have the blaze rods for light elsewhere, I went ahead and did that here. And then I already mentioned that I wanted the stone bricks, but I decided to add in some andesite just for fun. And of course, the deep slate here on the bottom as well, just because we got deep slate all the way around. So ended up with the storage area down here. I've got an area up here. I just kept having fun with doing the ceilings and finally said, you know, I can put down pressure plates just for fun. And then make a nice little clicky sound. Not that I'm ever going to be up here. And made a second floor, a third floor. And then this just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had a bell, and I don't remember where I got the bell, so I mounted it up there. And then this is building symmetrical is easy. Building where it's not symmetrical is harder. So it's both symmetrical and not. I did have fun with this last little piece where we've got this little slope going up with those. You're not really going to notice it unless you're flying. Anyway, let's come on in and see a little bit of what I've done here. So I pulled all my storage and brought it out back over here because this is, like I said, this is going to be my storage area, and I have some power here. Did you notice my power cells? I have lots and lots of power cells. I doubled the amount of power that I have, I think, because I just threw these into my EMC setup and just replicated a whole bunch of these guys and put them all around. In fact, I've got almost a stack more that I figured I'd just use, and because why not? So that's what I'm doing here because I'm silly. Oh, let's go upstairs. Here's the second floor. I've had traders spawn up here, which is really annoying, but it's a nice safe spot. And here's this is supposed to be only too high, but it vaulted up a little bit before I capped it off. Anyway, this is the new industrial base for storage is concerned. This controller connects to everything there. These guys I pulled over, that all works. And one other thing I did, because I got sick and tired of going back and forth, I just set up this little RF tool dealy whacker here, so now I can go back to the main base. And, I'm here, with everything I need. Oh, let me show you the sadness that is this room. Oh, it's all gone. Eventually, I will move all these industrial bits here as well. It's just what it is. All right. I like it. So, let's do a little bit of building here because I wanted to go ahead and here's my dialing and matter stuff. I don't need that. Instead, what I'm going to do, and let's make another stack. Because what I wanted to do is start building a refined storage setup here. One thing I did do, let's just start with this. I need to make at least 3 of these. Let's make 4 just so that I've got them. And I've already made the silicon. That's just cooking up ports. That's easy. I did the processors. I already made these. This setup worked out fairly nicely. So I've got those. Let's just make a controller. And doink, there's my controller. And I was thinking of putting that right here. Wrong. I'm putting the controller right there. And I've got this little, okay, everything that you see is on my main power network, except for these 2 guys. They're on a second power network. And if I just break this, that guy right there and another one on the other side, those are connecting into this separate network. The reason being is many times I put those power batteries into my network just to charge them up because I had free power coming in. So I figured, why not? This isolates this, so I always have 8 million RF sitting here, even if my other network goes down to 0, which it's done many, many times. Anyway, so I've got this powered up, and I'm thinking, because everything's kind of brown in here, there we go. It is now a brown controller. That's kind of ugly. I'm not gonna lie. I think because we've got these dimension cells here, I'm gonna call that cyan. That's a better look. That's a better look. Okay. We'll go with that. Anyway, so that's in place and it's plenty powered. And I don't need you here anymore. This had construction supplies, but it doesn't matter anymore because I happen to have, my storage all over here. Anyway, next thing to do, let's come back over here, get rid of that. I want to make a disk drive. So we've got not an alchemical chest. No, that would make me really, really mad. Let's use you. In fact, alchemical chest, you are expensive to make. Let's come back here, chest. You're expensive to make, and you're expensive to make. and you've got tons of you from the various drops. So I'm going to put the expensive stuff away. I've had my experience already. It seems to me that if I have the items in my inventory, it goes from there first. Watch this chest disappear. Boink. So that's one way of taking care of that. So the disk drive, I was thinking, instead of putting it right up against it, I'm going to put it here so it kind of matches my controller over there. That's my plan. Now, so that's done. Let's go ahead and do the crafting of this. I can make, let's do, I said 4. Okay, well, you're making one set at a time. Well, that's fine. I want to make the crafting grid. So I need this. Oh, I don't have any of the destruction cores. So let's make some of those. And I don't have, nope, that one. The construction cores. So let's make some of those. All right, back to here. I've got glass and everything else. Let's make one of you grids, and then the rest of this to make a crafting grid. Let's do that. And there's my crafting grid. Cool. And I'm going to go doink, and that'll put that there. And that's the door. So I'll be right back. So one very annoying little interruption later. But, you know, hey, if people come to the door and want to give me stuff, my answer is yes, please. And also, thank you very much. So, okay, we've got the crafting grid, we've got the disk drive, we got our controller. The next thing I need is an external storage. And again, I want to get chests. Let's grab 2 of you. Okay, just because. And that should make me 1 external piece. Let's drop you back in here. And then I need the other cables. I don't need that many. Let's some. Okay. So at this point, I need to connect these. And for that, I've got an actual trap door over here just to make it easier to do. So this is what the inside of my island looks like. And yeah, I actually hand built this in under a day. It was loads of fun. I do enjoy making these islands, and I've gotten better over the years in that I don't just instantly funnel down to the center. I try to have them come up and down. Like over here, you can see they're coming down. They came up into a hump in the center. You know, so it's varied, and that's where my torch went. Anyway, yeah, like my hidden lights, I've got lots of jack-o'-lanterns, so I might as well use them. All right, enough of that. Over here, I think this is where, yes, there's where my controller is. So I need to pull a cable out from here, and 2 over is where my disk drive is. So cable, 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 and 1 more cable, and they're connected. So now the disk drive should work. We right-click this, yep, it can see all that, and I'm using 4 FE a tick. So hardly anything. Let's put the external drive here. This one, I want much higher priority. Let's do, 1000. Just so I want stuff to go into that before anything else. And I believe it is set to insert and extract. Yes, I want that to happen. Everything else should be fine. Let's get back up out of here. That makes it so much easier. So this is now on, and if I take a look, I see everything, which is exactly what I want. I do not like counting by number. I think that's really annoying. Let's set it up. Normal, descending. I want it by name. Let's do it the other way around. So up, all my compressed stuff. All right, so yeah, this to me, that makes a heck of a lot more sense. And frankly, I really do like having that auto selected, because 9 times out of 10, if I want something, I want to just start typing, bush, well, I was going to type bush, but it ended up being boo. Okay, so bone. And so this works out better for me. All right, so that takes care of that. I don't need these 2 things here anymore. Oh, no, I can't get rid of them yet because I have no drives to fill up this. And I really don't need this for anything other than the mob supply stuff that's going to come in vast quantities that I can put a void on. That's it. Everything else can stay. This pretty much is going to stay because I like the compacting capabilities, but this is a lot of that's going to get turned away. So let's go ahead and change this to drives. All right. I want the there we go. Refined, and let's do the 64, not 65. So this, not fluid. Let's just look at the part. Add that to the list over here. Get rid of you. This guy, I need some 16s. So for 164, I need 3 16s, and then that's 9 4s. That's 27 1Ks. All right, so let's make 27 of the 1Ks. We should be able to craft that. Let's craft it here because I don't have access to all my bits except for over here. Okay, so I need 27, 8, 24, there's 27. And then the second one, I need the 4Ks. Let's go ahead and, I didn't want to add, I wanted to come over here. Let's do, oh, am I out of basic processors? I needed 9. There we go. Okay, okay. I'm glad to see that. If we U on this, no, let's go back to here. I need to make some 16s. So let's make some 16s. 1, 2, 3. And now I can make one of these. Having it all in the system is great. It just makes life so much easier. So there's my 64K. And I need to make a, I'll just do it together. Doink, there's my disk. Go ahead and shove that into there. And now I should be able to take everything that's in here and move that into my drive. Alrighty. Well, I definitely need to make at least, 9 more of these disks just so I have plenty of space. Then I don't need my scanner. I don't need my modular storage. I just have refined storage. It's super simple in that there's no crafting, there's nothing else, but that's all I need for right now. I like it. And there we go. A brand new base, a nice new building to play with. I've got an easy way to get back and forth between these two. I do like the look here. We've got sky up above. That dark layer just kind of hangs around along the walls. I just like that. It's been loads of fun. I like being out more than cooped up in a little, stone box like I have been. So this makes me super, super happy. And a little bit of a decoration around this building. I need to start moving the rest of the machines, setting up some more buildings. I've got plenty of room down below if I need to run pipes and cables and whatnot. And I was thinking right in the center, I could have maybe some wireless so I can access my stuff here in my area before I make it, infinity and go elsewhere. Plus, I've got a bunch of other tasks I need to do. But that's all for another video. Anyway, this has been Grok the DuckFarmer here, having a blast here on my island. Oh, I'm getting all dark and mysterious looking. But yeah, having a blast here on my floating island area. Whee! And just loving the look of all this. I'm going to stop looking at me. Let's start looking at the island. It looks so much better. Anyway, this is the FTOG server playing a little Stoneblock 3 by FTB, Feed the Beast. And thanks for watching. Bye.